Hoisin and ginger pulled pork bao buns are an exquisite Asian-inspired meal that's perfect for family meals where you want to plonk everything down in the table and let everyone help themselves. Or you can make a big batch of these and serve them the next time that you're entertaining. It is a delicious combination, really rich, slow-cooked pork, some delicious, soft, fluffy bao buns. I'm using some Mr Chen's bao buns to make life super simple for this, and some crunchy salad. So we're going to kick off the recipe with our slow-cooked pork, because as you would imagine, this is the longest part of the recipe. So I've got a large shoulder of pork here. This is about 2.5 kilos. Grab this at Coles. Now, I'm just going to remove the netting for this. If you were roasting this shoulder and you were wanting to kind of carve it for a traditional roast, you would leave the netting on. But because I'm kind of stripping and shredding this meat into some lovely kind of soft, pully pieces for our bao buns, then it doesn't matter if it falls apart. So just remove the stocking from the pork. And then I've got some aromatics to go onto the pork while it's cooking. So I'm starting with some fresh ginger. I've just grated that up on a microplane, or you could chop it nice and fine. I've got some hoisin sauce. I think the flavour of hoisin sauce, that kind of tart, sweet and sour flavour, goes so well with our pork. You want a very good glug of the Mr Chen's hoisin. To carry on with the ginger theme, you could use just water for this, but I've actually got some ginger beer. This just adds another dimension into our pork as it's cooking. So add in about a cup of ginger beer. Some 5-spice powder, goes beautiful with pork. About a teaspoon of that. Give that a mix. And all you need to do is to pour this over the pork. This marinade's going to add some moisture into our pork as it's cooking. Obviously, any slow-cooked meat's going to spend a lot of time in the oven, so we don't want this to dry out. So this is going to help kind of steam through the meat as it cooks and obviously flavour everything as it goes. I've got some garlic to go in the recipe, and I'm just leaving the garlic whole. So I've got a couple of bulbs that I've just taken the skin off. And what's going to happen, the garlic will go really, really soft. And when we take this out and pull the pork later on, the garlic will just kind of get mashed into part of the meat. Really, really delicious. Super simple. I think with slow cooking, yes, it's a long time in the oven, but it's 5 minutes prep before you need to do anything. I'm going to cover this with some baking paper and just tuck that in. The baking paper helps kind of condensation drip back down into the tray as this cooks. So naturally, steam will come up and hit the paper and then drip back down and keep a really nice moist environment for our slow-cooked pork. Grab some foil and wrap it up nice and tight. All right, that is our pork all wrapped up. This now goes into the oven. It's going to take around 3.5 hours at 160 degrees, so quite low and slow with the pork. After 3.5 hours, take the foil off and turn the oven up to about 180, 190 and give it another 30 minutes just to get some beautiful colour and caramelisation on the outside of the pork. You'll know it's ready when you can basically touch it with a set of tongs and the meat will start falling apart. And when it's at that stage, we know it's ready to stuff into our beautiful, soft, fluffy bao buns. While the pork's been cooking, I've prepped some fresh, crunchy things for a salad to go with our pork, and we can now get our bao buns into the steamer. So I'm using some Mr Chen's bao buns for this. You can make your own from scratch. They take a long time. They're never going to be as good as these ones. I've been lucky enough to meet Lucy Chen, who's Mr Chen's daughter. They have a great story. The business has been going for 40 years, Aussie-owned company, and they make some really great dumplings and Asian products. I'm going to pop our bao. They go straight from frozen into a steamer basket. So in the wok, I've got some water boiling at the bottom, steamer basket, and some baking paper on the top to stop them sticking. and just pop the bao straight into the steamer. The buns will just take 7 minutes to steam away and become beautiful and soft and fluffy. The pork is ready. Most amazing smells coming out of the oven while the pork's been cooking. Lovely 5-spice flavour. You can see we've got some colour on it by uncovering it for a little bit of time in the oven. All I'm going to do, this gelatinous piece of skin that's been protecting the pork as it's cooking, I'm going to remove that. It is completely edible. My dad would put this on soft white bread with butter and eat it. Like, I know it's very fatty, but it was also very tasty, but we don't want it kind of shredded into our meat. Just remove that. Grab a couple of forks, and all I'm going to do is just kind of tear up our pork to get some beautiful strips to go into our bao buns. You can see with the pork, you could literally carve this with a spoon. And I think that's the good thing about slow cooking. Yes, it's a long time in the oven, but prep is 2 minutes. And when it comes out of the oven, it's very, very easy to serve. Now, pork shoulders come in quite large portions. Obviously, this is going to make more than we need for our bao buns, but of course, you could use it for so many other recipes. You could freeze it, or you could have bao buns 2 nights in a row, which is what I would do. A crispy, crunchy salad to pair up with our rich pork. I'm going to use some cabbage, some Chinese cabbage here that I've just finely sliced up. Some crunchy cucumber. And I've got some carrot that I've just finely shaved with a toothed peeler. Simple dressing on the salad, pinch of salt. I've got some of the Mr Chen's rice wine vinegar, a nice kind of punchy hit for our salad. Just to balance up the vinegar, a small dash of maple. And for some creaminess, I've got some mayonnaise. Pop that in, just give that a good toss. That's everything ready to go. Now, bao buns are the perfect thing that you can put everything down in the middle of the table and let everybody make their own. But I will quickly show you one. So our buns steamed, very, very simple. All you need to do is open up the little pocket of your bao bun. And the idea is you want to get a little bit of everything in every bite. So some crunchy fresh salad. Some of our rich hoisin and ginger pork. It's optional, but I've got some sriracha sauce. And for me, coriander always on an Asian meal. And that is it. Delicious, exotic Asian flavours all wrapped up in one soft, pillowy bite. Made very, very simple thanks to Mr Chen's. That's my pulled pork bao buns.